This is Big Red. That's the question. It's been a couple of weeks since we've taken you behind the G, but we're back and better than ever. Adam had to have major neck surgery to get there. He's dramatic like that, Just saying. Got a great show lined up for you this week as Adam and I are joined by senior baseball players Silas Ingram and Cohen Miller, and we catch up with their coach, Chan Brown. A lot has happened with baseball this season, the last 2 weeks especially. Before we get into it, though, don't make me tell you again, folks. You got to follow us on social media, at Go Red Elephants on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Check out our website, goredelephants.com. We also have a handy-dandy YouTube channel. Gainesville Red Elevision is what it's called. Yes, Gainesville Red Elevision. And in fact, now's the perfect time to start following us on social media.
Preach
all those things I just mentioned.
Tell them why.
And that's where Adam and I are going to start our day today.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Gainesville Day of Giving, happening next week, Wednesday. That's April 22nd. We're going to be on the porch at Johnny's Pizza from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we want you to join us either in person or via our live stream. See where that...
And with your wallet.
And with your wallet, yeah. And with it most... Actually, you can just drop the wallet off. And that's where the social media and the YouTube come into play, right? Also... it'll be linked on our website. See, look, we like to be, we're collaborative here. We're a cohesive unit.
So we try to make it easy on you.
We want to make, we're trying
Anywhere
to.
you want to be, that's where we're going to be.
So Johnny's Pizza, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's right. We're doing a live stream the whole day. A live behind the G, if you will. And if you're there, if you do on the live stream, just make sure that you're there with us. So yeah, Gainesville Day of Giving. If you want to... Do y'all have a question? Do it. Raise your hand. Okay. So what is the Gainesville Day of Giving?
Yeah. So
let's tell them.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
It's pretty simple. It's a day of giving.
Hold on. I'm
going to go for it. I think of this, and the people that were listening will get this, but I think of this. It reminds me of Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Oh, absolutely.
Without the
yes,
yeah, and I guess maybe we're like the acts. I don't know, but we're gonna have different coaches, athletes.
Yeah.
We are the celebrities.
Well, the telethon won't have the celebrities.
Okay,
part.
yeah. So we're gonna have different coaches and athletes and alumni, sponsors, people that support Gainesville on the Behind the G. Just kind of talk about how important it is to support Gainesville athletics, support the Gainesville Athletic Club, and just kind of reminisce, tell some stories, enjoy the day. It's going to be a great time. I'm totally my mind is on next week. I'm super excited about it, and I'm thankful that Clark over at Johnny's has agreed to host us. Mm-hmm. We're excited about taking over their back porch, and it's funny because he emailed me this morning and was like, "Hey, how many people are you expecting to be here at 9 o'clock? Do we need to have breakfast ready?" And I was like, I'm not sure we're going to have a line going out the door at 9 o'clock, but we're definitely going to make sure we have some people there for lunchtime and fill the place up and people coming to support Big Red. But all in all, it's a day of focused on giving back to Gainesville, which has given so much to everybody.
Amen to that.
That's the goal of it. As we mentioned before, last time we raised just a little over $20,000. I'd love to see us hit 30. I think 30 is attainable. I'm going to be giving shout outs all day long for those people that donate. When you donate online, it lets me know, so I'll be able to call people out. I won't tell them how much you donated, but I will recognize the names of those people that donated, and I'm excited. We've already had people that have kind of jumped in because that link is already open. If you want to go ahead and donate today, you can do that today. You don't have to wait till next week. So just super excited that people are already excited about it, and it's going to be a fun day. I know it's a long day for us.
Yeah,
it's a long day for you. When it boils down to it, KDB does an incredible job on the radio. This reminds going back to those days of going
the radio, calling in to get your cookie cake.
Yes. I wonder how many times Abby's going to call. Can I get a cookie cake?
Can I get a cookie? I should just bring her one.
Yeah. Well, how much did you donate? That's going to be the question.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it as well. There's nothing I love more than talking about Gainesville High School and everything it gives, because it gave so much to me personally, but truly the athletics too.
Yep.
It's going to be a great day. And I like to say it's a fun raising day.
Yeah.
That's what we want it to be.
Yeah.
So candid conversations with coaches, with our student athletes, and with our alumni. And hopefully every generation still with us will be represented in some capacity, even if they just pop in and we throw them on the show, because we're open to doing that as well.
Especially if you bring a check.
Oh, yeah, especially if you bring we will not buy you any pizza, however you can buy us some. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going to be a fun day. Johnny's Pizza, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., April 22nd, that is next Wednesday. Again, if you cannot join us but want to pay attention to what we're doing,
Yeah.
we have alumni all over the place. Folks, we're going to be everywhere we already are.
Yeah.
Go Red Elephants on all our social media. Gainesville Red Elevision on YouTube. That's specifically what we'll be streaming through. But the links will be up everywhere, including our website. Going to have our interns monitoring the live stream.
Yeah.
So if you have questions in real
hit
time,
us up.
we'll have fun with it.
Yeah, and look, here at the end of the day, like, we're not asking everybody to empty their bank account, but if you can't, if you want to, totally fine, no issues with that. But, giving 25, 50
Nobody's
bucks.
kid really needs to go to college.
Highly overrated.
Come
Let's
on.
take care of the Red Elephants first.
No rainy days are coming.
But if everybody in our community donated 25, 50 bucks, like, it would
Right.
be it would amazing. We'd blow the $30,000 out of the water in no time at all. So, we want everybody to do what they're comfortable with, but it's a great day to give back to the Gainesville community that's given so much to us.
We also accept cash in person.
Yeah, you can slide that under the table.
I'm not saying I'm not going to pocket a little bit.
Envelopes.
For time and energy, just for time and energy. But we are looking forward to having the Gainesville Day of Giving. So make sure that you I hope you've marked your calendar already, but make sure that you mark your calendar. April 22nd, 9 a.m., 3 p.m., The Porch at Johnny's Pizza. Johnny's is just as good to us as a whole. They're serving Johnny's Pizza at Ivy Watson now.
Yeah, they are. They do an incredible job. They really, the management there has changed a few times.
Yeah.
And Clark is just, he beats it on my door. What can I do to support
Right.
now? So certainly appreciative of him. And, when he let us host the basketball event back in the fall to kick off their season. So when it came time for us to figure out how we wanted to do this, is we wanted to do it a little bit different than we did last time.
Right.
So this is going to be fun. Last time we were kind of in a closed off area. This time we're going to have live audience the whole time. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun for us. So we're hoping it's a great event. We're excited about putting the technology pieces together and being able to...
Are we excited about that?
I'm excited. It falls on you, like everything else
You're
does.
excited to see how it all works out.
Yeah, well, you never know what's going to happen.
Great communities are created by great people investing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money, like this particular...
Yeah, absolutely.
But great people... And even if you can't give any money right now, come to Johnny's and support them as part of our community and say hey to us while you're there. Like, great communities are created by great people who want to invest in it. And Clark and Johnny's Pizza is one of those places.
Yeah, well, and again, you're 100% right. If you can't donate some money, I bet you know somebody that can.
Yeah.
So we're going to have people that come in they're coming in for the sole purpose. We've got people signed up in hour blocks to call all their friends, go through their contacts and all their alumni buddies and hey, just reminding them, hey, this is the Gainesville Athletic Day of Giving. If you want to come in and do that as well, we'd love to invite you to come and just use that time, that hour space to come in and just make some phone calls, remind people how important it is to support Gainesville. And again, at the end of the day, it's just about bringing our community together
Amen
and
to that.
supporting our kids.
So mentioned that Johnny's Pizza, because we hadn't said them enough at the start of this, is now being served at Ivy Watson Field, which is a great segue to what's been going on since we last chatted with you Red Elephants out there. Baseball's back, baby.
It's so nice, isn't it?
It is nice. And I go back to, I hate bringing up, in my day, I hate doing that. But sometimes it's important to.
Sure, yeah. We have to remember that stuff.
Especially when, a program has been revamped in a succinct amount of time, but revamped period, like baseball has. Ivy Watson was packed when I was in high school through the mid 2000s. It wasn't, are we hosting one playoff series? It's, are you going to be here in a month when we're still hosting them?
Yeah.
It's not, listen, we ain't there yet. We ain't jumping in the lake yet.
No.
But hear me when I say it's so nice to feel like it's attainable, and it's so great to see these young men having fun, enjoying the game of baseball because they're winning.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, and look here, we've talked about it. Baseball has not won a region championship since 2016, so it's 10 years. So our guys that are 15, 16, 17, 18 were 5, 6, 7, 8.
Correct.
Like they weren't thinking about. They hopefully were wearing relevant baseball gear and playing baseball at the time, but they weren't thinking about this. They weren't correlating. They weren't it didn't mean much to them, is what
Sure.
I'm trying to say back then.
It was also commonplace, and things that are commonplace
Correct.
just don't,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
hit the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, baseball won a region title. As we mentioned, they are 14-2 currently in region play. They've rolled off 12 straight. They opened up their last series of the regular season against Johns Creek Tuesday night. They'll play them again Wednesday night. You're listening to this on Thursday morning. They'll play them again on Thursday, and then the playoffs begin next week, Friday.
Yeah.
I think
It's this weird week.
It's weird.
In my mind, we were playing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So, because we have other things going on this week, too.
just a few things.
Yeah, that we'll get to later.
But yeah, so great time to come out to Ivy Watson. And Friday night isn't your last opportunity to. It's your last regular season opportunity to. And hopefully by that time we've won 13 straight region games. But a lot of fun to watch them play. And a lot of fun to watch their coach. And that's Chan Brown.
If you hang out after the game, you may could get your picture taken with Coach 600.
Yeah, man, listen. Is that not an incredible feat?
It's hard to imagine. I mean, as a coach, like, you never sit down and think, like, I want to get 600 wins.
No.
Like, that doesn't cross anybody's minds. You may say, like, hey, man, I'd like to make 100.
Right.
But nobody really thinks about 600. He's not thinking about 700. He wasn't thinking about 500 when it happened. But to get that is so cool. And to get it here with us, I think is, again, we get a very small fraction of those 600. But, I think we're so lucky to have him as our coach. He does an incredible job. He understands what it takes to win, how hard the work is, the time, the intentionality of how you have to practice and the things you have to do. So we're certainly very lucky to have him, and we're honored to be able to celebrate him. And, if you weren't there on Tuesday night to watch that video tribute to him, just shows you, how much more it is than baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And the lives that man's been able to touch and been able to affect in a positive way. He had the 600 to be able to celebrate that, but that's what all of our coaches do. So that's really cool for him. I'm glad that him and his family got the opportunity to be here for that, and I'm glad we got to celebrate it with him.
Yeah, no doubt. What a great. It was just, first of all, yes, to celebrate him. The video montage was incredible because it wasn't former players saying, thank you for teaching me how to hit, because now I'm doing it for the Dodgers.
I don't think anybody said that.
Nobody mentioned baseball at all.
Yeah.
They mentioned, how they're still close, how they love him. And, it was absolutely wonderful to hear all those voices saying the same thing, right, about our coach now, the man who's coaching us. But it was also really, really cool, really, really cool to watch you hand our boys a region championship trophy.
Yes.
And we say this about each of our programs when it's happened.
Yeah.
With boys basketball this past winter, with football in 2022, and continuing on through this past season. It's happening now with girls golf. We're seeing a resurgence thanks to Miss Addison Peoples.
Yes.
We're seeing a resurgence in girls golf, and it's going to continue. But to have experienced the things I was able to experience, so many people listening out there right now were able to experience as part of Gainesville High School athletics, that are core memories. To see these kids that we love so much, who were just like we were in high school, right? To see them get to experience that too, because I know how they work and they deserve it. And to see them get to experience that success, that communal support, to have something to celebrate. It is set, that the feeling it gives me is second to none.
Well, and to me, it goes back to a lot of talk about the senior class and what the state of the program was when they were freshmen, when they were sophomores, even last year as juniors. The excitement of Coach Brown, the transition from the way things were to the way things are going to be.
Correct.
In that growth. It's got to be like almost kind of full circle for some of them who were maybe unsure, coming from eighth grade to being freshmen red elephants, and then as they're going on, not the uncertainty of how things were going to turn out. So for them to have that moment and to have put in all the effort and the work to get them to that place, and man, they played some great baseball.
They have,
and even we'll talk about this 12 straight region wins, the struggles that they had earlier in the season, they were so close, and Coach Brown knew that. They were.
That was the frustrating part.
They were an error or a walk or two, something along those lines from picking up a lot of wins. So being able to make that transition at the right time,
Yeah.
as we went into region play to put themselves in the position to be able to host at minimum 2 rounds. Obviously, we've got to win some games to get to
Sure.
the second round, but just super proud for those kids. They deserve it. They deserve every single bit of it,
Yep.
and they've put in the work. They believed in Coach Brown and what his staff has done to put them in the right place, and now it's starting to show off.
And man, they represent us well too. It's fun to watch them play. Ivy Watson, last regular season home game, Friday night. First pitch is going to be 6 p.m. and then we've got the playoff series to look forward to the following week. It'll start on Friday, doubleheader on Friday.
It'll be a Friday, probably going to be like a 4:30 start time
Mm-hmm.
for a doubleheader. And look, I get on my soapbox here for a second. It always frustrates me whenever. So the GHSA playoffs in some sports like baseball, like softball, they start off with a doubleheader. Mm-hmm. So I always ask myself, why do we not play region play as a doubleheader?
No kidding.
In my opinion, what we should be set up our region play to prepare us for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our baseball team has played a couple of doubleheaders, but not with the intensity level of region play to prepare you for the playoffs. That just frustrates me.
And in this heat.
Yeah, well, that too.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's another part of it is seasons start so early now so they can get done at a certain time. That literally last night or Tuesday night was the first night that our boys have played in really any kind of heat.
Yeah.
I mean, they were up in Charleston over spring break, and Coach Brown said it was freezing the whole time.
Yeah.
And look, I don't care who you are. I don't care how hydrated you are. Heat affects you. It affects the way you play. But regardless, we're going to be at Ivy Watson. Hope you're going to be there too.
Yep.
I find it funny. The boys will tell a story coming up, and Coach Brown tells it too, that after they won region and got back to Ivy Watson, they wanted to jump in the lake. All of us were like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that for region championships. Come on now. But yeah, great for our baseball
Should be a low-hanging
program.
bar for us.
That's exactly. Should be commonplace. Boys soccer, another team
Yes.
that has reeled off some wins of late. 6 straight. They've won 6 straight games, including 2 region games that put them at the number 3 spot heading into the Class 5A state playoffs. Those will start next week for them as well. And they wrap up their season Thursday night in El Clasico against Johnson.
I was like, is she going to let me say it or is she going to you beat me to it? You beat me to it.
I did.
You got it.
But you got time. You still got time.
It's okay.
And that will be played at City Park.
Yes.
And it's one of the biggest events we have.
Absolutely. And people don't understand unless you show up.
Right.
Because everybody that asked me about it, I said, look, this is like a football Friday night. Yeah, okay, whatever. No, I promise you, Thursday night at Bobby Gruen Field will be just like a Friday night football game. There will be as many people there as on a good game on a Friday
Well,
night.
hold on. But can I say one thing?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different.
But the fans will actually be invested in watching
it
Gainesville
will be
play.
nutso. It will be nutso.
Instead of golf claps.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
actually be, watching the game.
So, typically soccer, everybody sits on the same side, but
Right.
because so many people come, we split up. So Johnson will be on the visitor side, Gainesville will be on the home side, and it will be a raucous.
Oh, yeah.
It will be a raucous night, and it'll be a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. Johnson always shows up. Gainesville always shows out. And it's always a good game. You always got 2 teams that are always, Johnson's always nationally ranked. Gainesville's always right there on the cusp, and all that stuff gets thrown out of the door for that night because you never know who's going to pull that one out.
Our girls will be looking for their 3rd straight win. And I bring that up. Look, what baseball's doing, remarkable. Soccer in the playoffs, 6 straight wins, finishing 3rd, the regular season 3rd in region. Ellie Viviant's got those boys rolling. Our girls' soccer program hasn't been great of late.
Yeah.
And they played a non-region schedule this year to kind of start building things
Reset.
back up.
Yep.
And boy,
Yep.
Sadie Foot and her staff have just done a great job. We had Tara Koleski on earlier this season, assistant coach with them. They've done a great job. They're 8-6 right now.
Yeah.
And looking to win their 3rd straight. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so pulling off the win at Mountain View last night, a buddy of mine's daughter plays for Mountain View, so he was texting me in the middle of the game and texted me that Mountain View was up 0-1 at halftime. And then after the game, it was like, well, we didn't play so great in the second half. We ended up losing. Y'all won 3-1. And I was like, okay.
It is what it is, yeah.
There you go.
Anna Henshaw, Jada Lee Flores led us to the win. 2 goals, 1 goal, respectively. Spring sports, have been a blur. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do they pack everything into the spring, Adam? There's really no other place to put it. We'd have to do year-round school, I guess.
Yeah, don't do that.
I know.
But it's funny because Georgia is one of the only states that plays soccer in the spring.
Really?
Yeah, most of the country plays soccer in the fall, which again nobody has to deal with.
Do they play softball in the spring?
They play softball in the spring, yes. So it's funny because like us dealing with equipment or uniforms and those kind of things, we always have to remind people, hey, like we play softball in the spring or in the fall, and soccer is in the spring. So like it everyone else is ordering stuff for stuff in the fall, and we end up on the back end of it. So it's weird.
Do you think you'd like that flipped?
Gosh, I don't know.
Does it even really? I mean,
either way, you take one really busy season and make it the other.
Yeah.
I think we would really. I mean, obviously we're in the South. Football's king. I think we would struggle with having. Can you imagine if we had varsity soccer, JV football, and varsity football all playing at City Park?
Yeah, from a logistical standpoint, I see what you're saying, but I'm looking at it from a involvement standpoint, and also we've got so many co-ed sports in the spring.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It would certainly be a dynamic change because I think you'd have more soccer players that run track or play lacrosse or vice versa, but you would also lose some kids.
We'd lose some flag football players.
Yeah. I mean, you certainly cross over on some things that would make life difficult. So, for us, it's the normal thing. It's the other people that come in from the outside that don't get it.
Outsiders, I tell you to stay away from them.
Well, and golf is always one. Golf comes up every year about moving that to the fall, and I think it's a good idea. I think golf should move to the fall.
Really?
Better golfing weather. I mean, you get more of the play in the nice weather. The golf courses are in better shape, and this is the crazy thing. And last week is the good time to bring this up. The golf courses complain about golf being in the spring because after the Masters, everybody wants to go play golf. So therefore, they run into not having enough space to get golf teams out, and still at the end of the day, golf courses have to make money.
That's so funny
to
me.
It is so funny because it is. I mean, especially here in Georgia, we deal with it.
Yeah.
So, but the bigger problem runs into, and this is just going back to GHSA and the people that make the decisions kind of thing. The golf committee actually approved this last year to move golf to the fall, and it went to the state executive committee and got voted down because the smaller classifications have a lot of football coaches that coach golf. So therefore, it caused them too many issues. So it got voted down from moving golf to the fall, which I think in the end would be good for everybody.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about the smaller classifications.
Doesn't do us any good. Those people that are a whole lot less students involved in the smaller classifications, but at the end of the day, they end up running everything.
They do. You're right about that. We're talking about you, South Georgia. I hope you're listening. So I dropped a little bomb at the beginning, talking about your health.
Oh yeah.
And just how you doing?
I'm good.
He's good.
I'm good. Probably better than I should be.
Yeah.
As we've talked about, I ended up having just a little bit of neck surgery, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm feeling really well. It's pain-free is the biggest thing. I've been suffering with this since the middle of November, and woke up from surgery and was pain-free for the first time in months. So it's been crazy how well the surgery went, how well the recovery's been, and I'm just excited to be back at work and not, feeling like I got to just sit in my chair and not move. Yeah,
it's and constantly, like, the look of consternation on your face because you were constantly in pain and constantly in pain and hadn't slept.
Yeah,
like the difference is remarkable. But I want to tell you this. So, you had surgery on a Wednesday. Hold on, listen. Like, I knew you were going to be bullheaded and come back, like, because they were giving you like 6 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, but it did.
But we think neck surgery. We think you're laying on it and they split open your back, and that's not what it is, right? Like, that's not what it is. Adam's got a very small little scar. He wore a huge bandage for a long time, though, because, again, he's dramatic and wants the attention. But he's got a very small little scar. But so when you have your surgery on Wednesday.
The amount of times you've called me dramatic today.
You have your surgery on Wednesday. Friday night, we have a baseball game at Ivy Watson Field. Adam Miller and I sitting up in the press box, just jawing like we usually do. And I looked at him and I said, how much money do you want to bet when I walk into work on Monday morning? His tail's going to be sitting in his chair with his lights on. He was like, no way. I walk in on Monday morning, and
And I did not tell you. I did not tell you.
No, he didn't tell me. So this is 3 days. So he's had the surgery on a Wednesday. This is the following Monday. Following Monday. I only count weekdays. Okay. Weekends don't count. This is the following Monday. I come walking in. I'll be damned if his light wasn't on, and he's sitting in there. And it was, just.
Hey, you didn't cuss me out, so I was.
Why would I?
Yeah, look,
I was worried for your health. I wasn't annoyed you were here.
But at the end of the day, this is where I just struggled with it because they said, "Hey, we want you to take this much time off. You can't do this, this, and this." And I was like, "Okay, totally get that." And I'm a wait and see. Like I'll wait and see what I feel like. But like I had my surgery on Wednesday. I probably could have come back to work on Thursday, but I said, "Hey, I'll give it till Saturday, see how I feel." And again, I was pain free, and from the neck down.
I think you might have texted me like right after surgery.
I did.
I mean, like I'm good.
I just want to make sure you were doing good.
I'm good.
I know everybody. I know you were probably sitting on pins and needles, worried about me.
I was
counting the moment that I was.
I was
come
texting
back
your wife
and enjoying every moment that I wasn't here. But
what do you mean? I wasn't here either.
It got to be Saturday, and I was like, man, I feel fine.
Yeah,
like I have they put restrictions on what I can lift and bending. I get
you couldn't
that.
drive for a while.
No,
yeah,
and I'm like, that's fine. I got no big deal. So like, why not go back to work instead? Like look, sitting around the house for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday killed me.
Yeah.
And again, at the end of the day, I'm not going to do anything stupid, but I mean, I can. Here's the crazy. I live 300 yards from here. I walk to work.
Yeah,
so,
you did.
That's the big deal. I walk to work.
6 miles uphill.
Yeah.
In the pollen.
That's what it'll be when I tell my kids about it.
Absolutely. So, anything else we got before we get to the meat of the show?
Let's see. We talked about baseball. We talked about soccer.
Yep.
You got track going on right now. Got their region meet is on Saturday and Monday. Expecting big things out of the girls. They've got a lot going on.
Well, they're going for their 4th straight region title. Yeah.
When you talk about a girls program that's researched, they've done an incredible job.
Yes, they have.
I will still give Coach Dion a hard time every time I see him. He has not pulled off that state title yet that he promised me 3 years ago or 4 years ago. But they're doing a great job, and the girls are really, really headed in the right direction. And the thing is, right now we've got good long distance, we've got good sprinters, we've got good field events. So expecting those girls to be able to compete for another region title. So and let's be honest, when it boils down to it, they may have won the most region titles in the last 4 or 5 years than any of our programs.
Yep.
I still it kills me right now that this year we're going to have won a basketball region title, a baseball region title. Hopefully, can win a girls track region title, and dadgum football couldn't pull it off.
I know.
I'm wearing them out every chance I get.
Well, they deserve it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They wholeheartedly deserve it.
How do you make it to the state championship game and
you didn't win your region? Well,
also somebody should write a letter.
I thought you did.
I did.
And then Habersham wrote one back, and here we are. Here we are. We're right back. All right, folks, we got a great show lined up for you. Silas Ingram and Cohen Miller, seniors on our baseball team, going to join us, as is Chan Brown, to talk about win number 600, what it means to him, and how this season has come about the way that it has. Stick around for all of it. We look forward to talking to you. This is Behind the Game. Tuesday night, Gainesville baseball earned yet another walk-off win, beating Johns Creek 3-2, earning a 12th straight region victory. Now, by the time you're listening to this, Big Red, our boys may have run that streak to 13, although I don't want to jinx it, and the numerology there makes me wildly uncomfortable. But I digress. It's been a memorable regular season thus far for the Red Elephants, one they'll wrap up tonight at Ivy Watson Field before, for the first time in a decade, hosting a playoff series next week. When we last spoke with Coach Chan Brown, the team was on a winning streak, but not this kind of winning streak, and history had not yet been made for neither the team nor the coach himself. That has all changed. We're region champions now for the first time since 2016. Coach Brown last week became just the 22nd coach in Georgia high school baseball history to earn 600 wins. To get his thoughts on what's transpired in the last couple of weeks, old Coach Chan Brown joining us now on Behind the G. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hey, how are y'all?
Doing quite well.
Yeah, we're Coach. I've changed your name in my contact list to Coach 600.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hold on. There we go. We had a little audio snafu. I had the wrong mic up. I'm used to the guest sitting to my
Sorry.
left. You're sitting right
You
across
can
from
blame
me.
that on me if you want.
Oh, no, that's totally my fault. But anyway, that's okay. No big deal. So first and foremost, I can speak for a lot of proud Red Elephants in saying that we took for granted how good we had it from a baseball standpoint. Hosting playoff series, winning at Ivy Watson, getting trophies, hell, witnessing history on a yearly basis. All of the things. So I speak for a lot of us when I say, like, thank you for bringing that back.
Yeah.
And how cool is it we've been able to say that to so many of our coaches?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we can say it to baseball.
Yep.
What you all have done this season, and we'll get into the weeds here shortly, but what you all have done this season from a morale standpoint, it just is, it's remarkable, and a community is very appreciative.
No, I mean, it's been a great season. Obviously, there's tidbits here and there that I would love to have fixed earlier.
I think he's talking about baseball, though.
Yeah.
But some of the extra inning losses and things like that.
Yeah.
But I do think those, and when you look back on this year, that we grew from them and learned some things, and definitely the adversity aspect of things. But like I told them last night, this is about them. This is about the 2026 senior class leaving a legacy of revamping and getting us back on the map.
Amen.
And the region is a big deal. I mean, it's 2 years of work gone into it, and trying to get the right mentality of doing the right thing on and off the field every single day. And even like right now, we got it. The next step is handling success, and I don't know that we're doing that great at the moment. I think we got to get a little bit back focused and taking care of the little things again to going into the playoffs. And so luckily we had 2 games, but these kids have done such a remarkable job. And all the way down to the parents and community, the last 3 or 4 games at Ivy's been packed on the hill.
Yeah.
And that's something that was a goal of ours from the get-go, is pack the hill. We keep talking about that. So, I would challenge our community for next Friday with the playoffs, and even this coming Friday, be there for these kids, and they deserve it, and, hope to see you there.
Coach, I know you've won a lot of region championships over your years, and I don't know that number. I probably should, but I would imagine this one's got to be just a little bit different. Maybe not better or worse than some of the others, but how is it different for you?
Well, I mean, it's a thing where obviously, 2.5 years ago now, that when I got the phone call from Adam Lindsay, wanting to talk about this job and coming to here, there was a reason for me to come, and I do think that's God's plan. But this region, obviously, to me, is, like I told him last night, it's a huge accomplishment for them, but it's a very special accomplishment for myself, and I got to add Jordan McCoy into that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the whole staff, but with McCoy coming in with me, we made this move to as a challenge. We made this move to revamp it and get it back to the Wayne Vickery days.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had the pleasure of following Coach Buchanan at Parkview, and now Coach Vickery here, that's done a lot of great things. And so getting it back to that part and seeing the kids enjoy the moment, and that's why we're here, these kids. And for me, that's the special part of seeing these kids enjoy this moment. And so can't wait to see where this team will take us this year.
Speaking of enjoying, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask. I was curious how many laps around the football floor you made this morning, holding that region championship trophy, rubbing it in football's face.
I hear you.
I love that. Yeah. let's talk about something else you could rub in their face. It's happening in about a month that they hadn't quite accomplished yet, but more on that later. So when we talk about seeing the kids enjoy, the boys enjoy, there is something I wish they'd stop enjoying, and that is walk-off wins. I don't know how many we've had this year.
I think that's 5 last night.
Was it
I think
5
it's
walk-off?
I think it's the 5th.
And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, Cohen's not up to bat, not going to happen for us.
Yeah.
And we've got Silas, Ingram, Cohen, Miller coming up later on the show. But yeah, it's just remarkable how, because I think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was a mentality thing. It wasn't a coaching thing. It was a mentality thing, and we wouldn't have won those games, would we have? We wouldn't have won.
Well, even last year, I mean, we lost, I think, 10 one-run games last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a thing of believing, understanding how to win, and so those things. Obviously, too, the other thing is, the weight room has been a big piece for us. And, Coach Mathis has done a great job. The one thing that stuck with me about the weight room, and this was Coach Niblett said this to me at the end of last year, and I had never heard it this way. He said, the weight room's awesome. You are doing a great job. And we were talking about adversity. And he goes, but the problem with the weight room, sometimes those weights can't hit you back in the face. And I had never heard of it that way. Yeah. And so we started preaching, the weight room, but then the adversity aspect of working through even like hard reps in the weight room, taking it to the field and understanding, to get through those big moments. And, that's something that has to be trained, has to be learned. And so the big moment right now isn't bigger than it's supposed to be anymore.
Yeah.
And these kids right now are believing they belong there, and that's the next step too, is just keeping that, and to do that, I think that obviously you got to still do the process that we talk about and trust it, but the work ethic, but more than that is just wholeheartedly showing up every day and understanding that you can be great every single day.
Mm-hmm. So something that struck me about the first win in the series over Johns Creek, and I don't know, I pay attention to the runs part, not really the other two, the hits and the errors part of a box score. And if we have more runs, cool. I don't need to know anything else than the other team, that is, if we have more runs. But something that struck me last night, no errors. In the first game against Johns Creek, no errors. And I don't know the last time we've been able to say that about a Gainesville baseball team.
Yeah, struggles.
And I just think that little bitty thing in one game of, a 16-game region series thus far, or 16-game region season thus far, 14 in which you've won. That little bitty thing, to me, speaks volumes about how you've changed the culture of this program, how you've changed these boys' mindset about what's important on the baseball field.
Well, we call it the freebie war, and the walks and the errors. And, I even take us back to Charleston last week. That's the only reason we lost the first two games is we made a big error and we walked too many people. And last night we only had three walks with no errors.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it and you don't do it back to back, then you can get by them.
Mm-hmm.
But even the tying run last night, that was a walk.
Yeah.
And when Silas came off, he said, "Can't do it."
Yeah.
So at least we're recognizing that side of it. That when those things happen, that's when normally things go south on us a little bit.
Certainly when you go back to the beginning of the season, we did have so many close one-run games, and it always came down to those exact same things.
It comes down to freebie war, no matter if you're on defense and pitching or offensively. You take last night, the other thing is using gap-to-gap approach and hitting the ball the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
Last night we only had 3 fly ball outs. So when you put the ball in play and they got to make plays, and you're going to put pressure on them and things like that from an offensive standpoint. So
there's been success that has not been experienced, as I've mentioned several times before, in more than a decade this season. While pressure is a privilege, kids will still feel it, right? And so they're going into a playoff series. It's not the first time they've played in a playoff series. First time they've hosted one, though. Right. So how do you, kind of take everything that really y'all have gained when it comes to mentality and believing you can and all of those type things, and put it in the playoffs. It's a big deal to host a playoff series.
For sure, it's a big deal being a 1 seed. You put yourself in a situation that if you win the first round, obviously you're hosting the second round, and put yourself even on a coin flip for the third round and beyond. From that standpoint. But for myself, our message from our staff is just going to be you.
Yeah.
Be you that got you here. Don't be the ones that early in the season that couldn't get past adversity. Be the ones that once we start a region, understanding what we have to do and all the little things to make us be Gainesville baseball. And I think that's important from a standpoint of the senior class. I'm preaching to them, hey, this is the biggest part of your whole year of leadership. You got to show up every day and lead, and that has to come back from our staff too, and the next week will be different. We got 4 days, that no games, and then we have to do a good job of preparing them. We have to have a good game plan going into the week for practice, and we've already scouted Chamblee. We're scouting Decatur tonight. See which one it folds out to be. And so, we're going to have an idea of what they are and go at it with that,
I was just going to follow up to that. So going ahead and winning the region, you can kind of go ahead and start looking to the playoffs and openly kind of start thinking about who you're playing. So you mentioned Chamblee and Decatur, but also to the fact that the playoffs start off with a doubleheader, which we've played doubleheaders, but not as much as our regular season. So how is your approach to the doubleheader, and what are you kind of looking for out of Decatur?
So honestly, when you talk with Cohen and Silas later, you can probably ask them this question, but day one is a 7-hour practice. Day one this year, we went 2:30 to 9:30, and they know why, because that you got to be to win a doubleheader and to win the series in a doubleheader. The day one, you're going to be at the field for 8 hours, and so we've done this from day one, starting January 19th this year, talking about what 8 hours means, what's this means, what your body's going to do. And I even went to that last night because it's obviously getting hotter, and them understanding that we weren't as focused as we needed to be last night. We didn't play bad, we didn't play good. We just were kind of there, in my opinion. And so preparing for that is we tried to prepare for this the entire season of talking with them about A, pack the hill, B, be prepared to play for 8 hours.
I just am. I mean, really? You're going to be at the field for 8 hours. You start preparing for that for day one. It wouldn't even.
Well, I mean,
this is what makes. And again, we're fortunate. We're fortunate to have. But this is what makes you great. Like, where did you even? Was that something that you learned with the previous coach at Parkview? Like, how does little nuanced things like that even come about?
I just think I just learned that through the process of my career, to be honest with you. And obviously, we've been fortunate enough to play in a lot, at Parkview and this, that. But you just kind of start getting that feel.
Trial and error,
yeah, trial and error per se. And, it's a thing where all the way down to the fact that for us, if we sweep on day one, we normally play game 3 no matter what the next day. All right. And so that way our pitcher for game 3 is going to pitch, and we have enough JV pitching that we'll play like a 5 to 6 inning game, so we can make sure that guy stays, on
rotation,
par.
Yeah.
So no matter, if we sweep, you'll see us the next day at Ivy playing game 3, and just to be prepared for that.
So one way or the other, everybody can show up out to Ivy and see game 3. It's just a matter of who's going to be playing. Yeah.
Pack the hill for game 3 between Gainesville and Gainesville. So when you talk about the little things to prepare our young men for the kind of season they've had, and the kind of season that hopefully will continue, it points to a bigger picture, and that is the greatness of your coaching. And I don't think I'm going above when I say great or greatness. And last night we were able to celebrate that. And celebrate you and everything you've accomplished in your career. More than 600 wins now. And again, as I mentioned earlier, only the 22nd head baseball coach in the history of Georgia high school baseball to accomplish this. We've been playing baseball since it was actually the first recorded sport ever played in Georgia. And so that's a long time, 1905-ish. That's a very, very long time. And only 22 men have done what you've done. And, to me, that's nothing to scoff at. I know that, you're not a braggart. But that's really a remarkable feat to get to celebrate you, to see the boys celebrate you. Yeah. We were able to pull together a video with some coaches, former players, and some of the people he worked with at Parkview, because obviously Red Elephants, he won most of those games with Parkview. I think, Adam, what did you say? It was like 30 here? We're taking credit for every damn one, okay?
Exactly.
But, just a remarkable feat. And I can honestly say, having gotten to know you both personally and seeing how you work professionally, you're just great at what you do, man. But more than that, you're a great human being, and that creates the environment that allows for the being one of 22 now. So congrats on the 600 wins. And how does it even feel to be a historical figure sitting in front of us?
Well, first of all, thanks. I want to thank both y'all and the Butcher Club and Adam Miller and Jordan McCoy for putting all that together last night. That was very special. Very memorable little video. Like I told you, a little tearjerker for me. A lot of memories, and the people that were on the video board. It's kind of funny. Coach Mathis' son was sitting there, and he goes, "Oh my God, there's Matt Olson." And so and so
That's okay. He wasn't the only one.
I mean, and obviously I sit there and watch that, and I mean, you look at all the great players that I've had, and this is about the players. I've been fortunate to, as a young coach, I was young and dumb, but I had the energy and the work ethic to get better. But I also had the smarts to sit in the back of the room with a lot of good coaches and learn.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is when you stop learning about what you do, then you're no good to anybody. And so that's why we still go to clinics each year and try to, we go to colleges and watch them practice and things like that to try to enhance us so we can pass that on, to them. The coolest thing for me, I think, is ex-players call me now that are coaching their kids as 5 and 6 year olds saying, "Coach, man, I had this situation last night. What would you do?" And so
My God, I'd yell at them.
and yeah, I'm like, they have that part of me, that's for sure. So, but and it's just a cool situation that I think we're teaching a lot of kids that can teach the next generation the game of baseball the right way.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's getting taught the right way by everybody. And high school baseball in general gets put down by travel ball and this and that a lot because there's too many guys that aren't teaching the game the right way. And so, and the other thing is, I've had a ton of great coaches with me, and then honestly, great booster people, families, communities, and both, Parkview and Gainesville, they mirror each other, and it's been a awesome run. I at one point in time, I'm sure I'll sit down and think about it. But, right now, like I told them last night, 600 is cool. But that little trophy sitting there last night for them was much cooler for me. So.
And, that was when Adam mentioned, getting the trophy and being able to give it to the boys, you get a little choked up. Because those kids just hadn't been able to experience something like that.
Well, and typically, to be honest, that's not something that we have the ability to really kind of celebrate, in that scenario. So it worked out to we could get the trophy and make a trophy presentation. Unfortunately, you won it no matter what, doesn't really make any difference. But y'all won it on the road, so we couldn't do it that night. So it was great to be able to do that, and the kids to be able to be recognized in front of their fans at their home field. So
even like last week or before spring break when we. Won it, and we got back that night, and not everybody knows, but the lights were flashing, the scoreboard's on, cool, But even to that point, they got off the bus, and all the parents were there to celebrate it. All the kids looked at Beckett and said, "What do we do?" And Beckett says, "We're going to go on the field. We're going to run out there. We're going to jump on the wall. We're going to take pictures." And and so it's a thing where it's still like
reteaching.
We're just
mentality.
teaching, and every situation is getting these kids better and better, and the expectation for them, the ones that are fortunate to get back next year, will have even a higher expectation on them.
I go back to your first meeting as we wrap up with you here, Coach. Your very first meeting with parents and team. Might have been your first appearance on campus other than when you came to interview with Adam and talk to him. And the very first thing you said was, I want everybody to close their eyes and picture we've just won a state championship and we're running across the road out of Ivy Watson Field and we're going down to the lake and we're jumping in, right? Mm-hmm. Like, picture it, because that's what we did, right? Maybe a little arrogant, but it's what we did. Beat Lovett on the road for a state championship. We ran and jumped in the Chattahoochee. Well, I didn't because it's nasty, but they did. That's what we do. And for you to pinpoint that and say that and go ahead and have them picture it, and then for Beckett to be the follow-up and showing them how to celebrate, these victories. There's something very like invisible stringish of all of that's just really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, Coach. I as we're finishing up here, I know you got 601 underneath the belt, which is really close to 700. How much time did you spend last night figuring out how long it's going to take to get to 700?
Honestly, none. If I get the 700, that'll be an awesome accomplishment. But like I said, right now, our focus is about getting better every day still. And it's a fun process right now, and it's a challenging one in the same sentence. It's as we mentioned a couple times on podcasts, obviously when you're at Parkview, and we were on the run that we were on, the expectation, right now, we're here to make sure that every single day we're going to get better.
Yep.
And, and that's a big deal for us. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned the lake. Because when we got back last week, they were talking about jumping in the lake. I said, "No, that's not a region championship. That's a state championship."
That's what we do.
So
That's funny.
so that's funny.
Again, reteaching wins.
That's right. We also need to hope it's not as dry as it looks right now. But that's another thing for another day. Coach, super proud of what y'all done this season. We love you. Can't wait to see what's to come. Folks, get out to Ivy Watson Thursday night, tonight. I said that earlier, didn't I? They wrap up the regular season against Johns Creek. Hope to see everyone there to pack the hill. In the meantime, in between time, Coach, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening.
It's a tale as old as time in athletics. A once great program falls on hard times, sometimes lasting a year or two, sometimes lasting a decade. A winning culture becomes a losing culture. Before you know it, renowned becomes laughable, until the right mixture of individuals decide to bring it back. That's happened this year for Gainesville baseball, a program that had decades of success. Has been mired in a decade of none, only to be resurrected thanks to a group of coaches and young men who simply decided to do it. Joining us now on Behind the G, two of the biggest reasons Big Red baseball is back. Senior Silas Ingram, pitcher for the team, and Cohen Miller, who's leading the team in home runs and hustle plays, I'll say. We actually had somebody, Cohen, last night. Welcome into the show, by the way, guys. Before we get there we go. We had somebody last night say, I hope you don't take offense to this because it wasn't me. Say, daggone, that big boy can move. I think you were like, just like running after a pop fly, right? Daggone, that big boy can move. So anyway, so happy to have you guys here. And we had Coach Brown on earlier, and I said to him, and I want to echo it in this room with you two listening. I'm old school Gainesville. Silas knows this. Cohen, you might not. 1997 graduate, been here my whole life, right? I am a red elephant. Thank you guys for working hard enough to bring back something, a program that a lot of red elephants, this community holds really dear. And so we appreciate the work you've put in, and we appreciate how much fun it looks like you guys are having, because it allows us to start having fun again. And boy, y'all got Ivy Watson popping like it used to back in the day. We didn't have the flashing lights, but y'all got it popping like it used to back in the day. And it's a great thing to, from afar, get to be a part of. And I'm glad we get to talk to y'all about really being a part of it. So, as we start, and I want to go with you first, Silas, because Cohen came to us as a sophomore. Correct. But Silas has been with us since kindergarten. And so, what does it mean to you to be experiencing this kind of season?
I mean, it means everything, really, because, I've been here my whole life. I've got to see Gainesville go through everything, like where we started at. Like when I was growing up, Gainesville's baseball was top of the class. It was amazing. And then we had those couple of years where it started going downhill, fell off, and now we're back. So it means everything to me that I'm a part of that, getting to be on the team when Gainesville baseball is coming back to life and being the best we can be. Not
to get too deep here, and Cohen, we'll get to you here shortly. But Silas, you've experienced two sort of resurrections as we are coming out of the Easter season.
Ooh, wow.
You've experienced two sort of resurrections when it comes to Gainesville athletics. Being a freshman, Coach Josh Niblett's first year, and seeing how he turned the football program around, and then this with baseball. And, of course, the two common denominators in each are the players provided to that coach to allow them to have that success. What did you learn from football and how quickly that things were able to turn around? Because that can't happen without the players. No. How quickly things were able to turn around and sort of take that when Coach Brown came in for baseball and apply it there.
I've learned a lot about that it takes more than one. Like, you need a lot of brotherhood, and the more that the team is, like, together and the more that they love each other and they're just with each other, that it'll definitely help out more on the field.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, when football, like, our freshman year, that was the closest team I think I've ever been a part of. And with that, us being that close, that's what helped us start the program.
Yeah.
Restart the program and be able to go up. And you can tell this year with baseball, like, we are probably the closest team I've seen since I've been here. Like, everyone just jokes with each other, laughs with each other. But when it's time to flip the switch, we all play for each other, and we're there for each other when something happens. So that's why I think that we are coming back to our own and getting back up there.
I love it. So now to you, Cohen, because I want to ask a very specific question. I'm a bit of a mastermind in this regard, and so I wanted to segue into this by asking him about something that would lead to connectivity. Last night, Silas, in his second inning of action, Silas got the win against Johns Creek in game 1 of the series, by the way. He's struggling a little bit in his second inning of his outing, right? You all have a meeting on the mound. You come from third. Peyton Oshowski comes from first. What did you hand Silas?
I had all the seniors got one. It's the little Jesus, and it says "Jesus loves you."
Okay.
So I put it in my back pocket, and I went up to him and I told him, I said, "Deep breath, just throw like you know, and trust Jesus." And so I gave him the thing, and let it put it in his pocket.
Did you really?
He went
That is
one
awesome.
pitch, got the out.
One pitch got the out, and then we end it with a walk-off.
Right.
That's good stuff, man.
That's not what I was expecting.
That's good stuff. Well, yeah, no, neither. I'll be honest with you, neither was I.
Can't mention what I was expecting here.
Is it literally one of those little like gas
little tiny
stations? Yeah,
Jesus.
the little tiny Jesus. I like it. I like it. All right.
So what I want to know though is how does it feel to be the fastest player on the baseball team?
I'm used to it. It's been 4 years of it.
It's crazy to me, to watch how many doubles or triples you hit that, you just looking at you, no offense, just would not think that you're going to turn that out.
You're gonna leg it out, yep.
How come he didn't put you in to steal bases?
This is what I'm
That's
talking
what I
about.
was thinking. Bottom of the 7th, like we get a runner on. Like I don't care if he can hit, put him on. Let's let him steal some bases.
In Charleston, he gave me still a lot, but every time I'd go, it'd be a foul ball or against, especially Chattahoochee, I got still 4 times, and every time I stole, CJ hit one. He hit a double, he hit a home run, so he just kept taking
Golly,
my stolen bases.
CJ. Yeah, CJ's stealing Cohen's shine.
Yeah.
How has and this is for both of you, but we'll start with you, Cohen. Think about 3 years ago for you, 4 years ago for you, when how has the culture changed? What has Coach Brown brought?
He brings us a passion that like I've never really seen before for the game, and he goes through an everyday basis between what he does here in the weight room or even at the field. He just rubs it off on us, and it's just a winning mentality. That's what he's tried to teach us from day one when he got here.
I'd say it's worked pretty well. At least in region. Y'all need some help, and out of region. I'm gonna be real honest with you boys.
Well, but that's a great segue there. So struggled in the beginning of the season, and we know typically in how we do all of our sports, our coaches front load our non-region schedule to prepare us for our region schedule. So when we struggled in the beginning, got into region, settled down, started playing like we knew we could. What's the difference? What changed?
I mean, I guess we just started trusting each other more. Like after Hoover, we had a meeting with the seniors, and he said that we need to start taking over more and just leading the team like we know we can. And once we started doing that, we all came together and we started winning. We all started playing for each other instead of just playing for ourselves and kind of being not really selfish, but just, I guess, loving each other more and playing for each other.
Yeah, you can be in a bubble. You can exist in a bubble. And I think, kind of a difference, at least I've seen, is the bubbles don't exist anymore. There's a lot more communication on the field with you guys than really I've seen in quite a while with Gainesville baseball. Even the simple stuff like calling off somebody with a fly ball or hyping somebody up when they are struggling on the mound, whatever the case may be. And it's an absolute pleasure to watch. So I mentioned earlier Cohen leading the team in home runs. He's also leading the team in walk-off hits. So we had a walk-off win in the first game against Johns Creek, as we mentioned a few times, and it was Dawson who got this one. A ball off the center field wall that scored Chase Keyword. And I was sitting there thinking when Dawson was coming up to bat, well, thank God there's one out because Cohen's up next. Like, we're good. Everything's good. And not that Dawson wasn't going to get a hit, but I knew Cohen would.
Yep.
So I have that confidence in you. Those moments are crazy pressure-packed, but clearly you've got that confidence in you. What's your mindset when you go up to the plate?
It's kind of like I try to just be in my own little world, kind of, and just be free from thoughts.
You're good at being in your own little world, to be honest.
I don't have to
And
worry
being
about
free
that
from
one.
thoughts. No.
And I get to the point, I try a lot when I'm hitting to pick up the littlest things to where if he's standing there and he's come set and he doesn't move his hand and throws a fastball, or if he spins the ball, I try to pick that up to help me out personally.
Yeah.
And so I just go up there and I know I'm strong enough to where if I can just put the bat on it a decent amount, that it'll go somewhere far or it'll just find a gap. And so That's just really my thought process is hit the ball hard.
You got a little bit of swag to you, too. We've got several pictures of you. Folks, photo galleries, goredelephants.com. We've got several pictures of you sticking your tongue out after you're getting hit by a pitch or, flipping the bat a little too egregiously when,
Comments get made about that in the press box.
But I also love it. Because for some, it's a sign of disrespect. For others, it's a sign that they're confident.
Yep.
And I think that's the case with Cohen. So, where's the swagger come from? I've met your parents. Where's the swagger come from?
That's a great question. It's just a thing where lately last year, my goal this year was to have at least 3 or 4 no doubt home runs, which is what I was talking to one of my friends about. And so this year, I had my one against Jackson County, and I didn't really do anything with that. And then after that, I just started elevating the ball and hitting it, and I felt the barrel, and I was like, well, might as well just bat flip. So then I just did that. And people say it's disrespectful, but what I say is just don't give up a home run.
It's disrespectful when there's a certain character trait, right?
Yeah,
in a player. It's disrespectful for some. It's not for others. It's not a black or white thing to me. And I don't. When you do it, that hypes me. I'm let's go.
Well, it's did you earn it or not?
Yeah.
Like flipping your bat after a walk. You didn't really do much other than stand there. So
especially coming from a pitching aspect. If I give up a bomb, I don't care if you bat flip, you throw it 30 feet up in the air. I gave up the home run, so I deserve it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Silas, your sort of version to me, and this is one of my favorite things to watch, your sort of version of Cohen's bat flip to me. It's how you sprint onto the field. And I mean, for every single outing, it exudes this confidence that I know you can't really be feeling. Because you come in some pressure-packed moments. Even if we're up 2 runs, it's still a pressure-packed moment. So when did you start doing the whole? You literally will. It's amazing to watch. Nobody else sprints onto the field. Y'all bunch of lazy. Anyway, nobody. You just got. Where did that come from?
It started my freshman year. I just did it once. I was like, I threw well, so might as well do it again.
Okay, I like that.
And it's just helped me build confidence running out there. I run out there. I was like, it's my time, my opportunity. Might as well do what I know I can do, and it helps me just build that, confidence that I know I'm the best out here, or at least I believe in my mind that I'm the best out here. Just might as well show everyone else that I am.
I dig it.
So as you're running out there, and you, anytime you come in as a reliever, you bring a different mentality, a different style to the mound for pitching. So what is it? What is your approach to pitching when you come in that situation where you've got to finish things out?
I just throw strikes, try to get people out, really. Walks are crucial in those moments. As you can see, last night I walked a couple, and those runs scored. But when you just throw strikes and get them out, they can't really – it's just an average high school hitter. They're not going to hit it far. Unless you leave one right down the middle, then they'll hit it far. But just got to try to get outs. That's all you can really do. I throw mainly off speeds. I don't throw fast at all.
Yeah.
I just throw straight change-up curveball, try to hit it.
You work fast, too. That's what I like. Now, you worked a little too fast and got called for some balks early in the season, but you fixed that. But I say that to you all out there in listening land have heard Coach Brown talk about Jordan McCoy. We've had Jordan McCoy on as the head coach of our flag football team. But really, listen, his main thing is he's a pitching coach. He was a great pitcher in high school, great pitcher in college, went on to have a bit of a professional career, and now he's here with us and doing great things with our pitching staff. Tell us about how Coach McCoy has changed your mentality. Last night, a beautiful scene. First game against Johns Creek, poor Silas. Gives up the lead in the top of the 7th, ended up earning the win because we got a walk-off, but gives up the lead in the top of the 7th. And after the game, Coach McCoy had his arm around you. And while we were watching the montage of all those former athletes and the people saying, giving congratulations to Coach Brown, Jordan's standing there with his arm around you. What's his relationship like with the pitchers, and how has he sort of changed y'all's mindset and really changed how well you've done?
I love how he just tries to, might be different with each person, but he tries to work to everyone's strengths. Like me, I tell you, it's hard for me to focus a lot. So he's tried to find something for me, and he's giving me these little puzzles, these little number puzzles, and it's definitely helped me focus. So he tries to work to everyone's strength and give them something that they can do, or little advice, and just help them out so where they can be the best version of
That's
themselves.
really interesting.
That is.
I think I might need puzzles. Could you get me some puzzles, Adam? Will you be my Jordan McCoy,
it's on
please?
back order.
It's on back order.
So y'all had a few games, 6 or 7 games where Coach Brown wasn't able to be there. So you had Coach McCoy that kind of stepped in that role. Are they a good cop, bad cop? A mom, dad kind of situation? Like what is it like when you go from Coach Brown to Coach McCoy? This is a safe space. Don't worry about it. It's a safe space.
All the players were like, it's like an early spring break kind of feel. Like you just feel free when you're
Why
playing.
a little bit of weight off the
Well,
shoulders.
if I'm like this 12-game region winning streak started when Coach Brown went out, didn't it? And y'all had
did.
Jordan. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can early spring break. Yeah. What was it like?
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I guess you could say the weight was lifted off our shoulders. Really, you got Coach Brown. He definitely coaches he's one of the best coaches I've ever had, and his style of coaching is a lot different than Coach McCoy's, I guess, because his passion is just right there with you. He wants you to be the best version of himself, but it's harder sometimes when every single second you're hearing something come straight from him instead of just kind of being in your own world, like being with yourself. Is like Coach McCoy allows you to do that a lot more. I feel like. Instead of every single time you throw a pitch and it's a bad pitch, you're going to hear it from him. But Coach McCoy,
he leaves no doubt.
Oh, yes.
So I want to talk with you two about the new building on the campus of Ivy Watson Field.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the Vic. And I'm not sure, Silas, if really this is applicable to pitching, but hitting. Coach Brown has talked about how you all have been able to, I guess, break down hitting with the different lanes in the Vic, right? So how has that facility helped you all?
It's helped us in a tremendous way from going to the cages we had where we had 2 cages and one was mainly just coach pitch in it. Like John Mark would stand there and throw to us to where now we have first cage is John Mark, second cage curveball, third cage fastball, fourth cage is a flat bat with a little softer ball for you to work on barrel control and getting the barrel to it because you'll know if you hit it or not. And then the fifth cage is tee work. But like I was talking to John Mark about it, and it's just weird how hitting works because I was on a roll, and then something just slowly crept in, and it threw me off. And he was like, John Mark told me, he said, that's why we have, big leaguers have hitting coaches because stuff just slowly comes in.
Yeah.
So I would go in his cage, and he'd tweak it with me, and we'd work on it, and it's mainly just been a really big help for me especially, but you can definitely see a change in our hitting.
Yeah, well, look, you've got to be really comfortable with failure as a baseball player because, 3 of 10 is successful.
Right.
That's a huge – you're going above and beyond. 4 of 10, you're going to the Hall of Fame, right? Like, you've got to be really, really comfortable with being uncomfortable and adversity. And on that note, let's talk adversity. Silas, you and Cohen as well, there's been a lot of it in the baseball program, right? One thing or another, but I specifically want to talk about on the field. And this points to, y'all having 5 walk-off wins this season, right? I think the last couple of years, those would have happened. Whether it's because, we would get down and the loser mentality, we're going to lose, or whatever, we just didn't have the little things talent to overcome it. How have you learned to win with Coach Brown? How have you learned to win for both of you?
As Coach Brown says, you got to trust God, trust yourself, and trust others, like trust all of us together. And when, say I gave up the lead. Well, I didn't give up the lead, but tied it. But, I gave
You gave up the lead.
Yeah, let's just put it that way.
You gave up the lead,
All right,
Silas.
so I'm walking
Don't
in.
sugarcoat this.
I'm walking back in.
High truth, high love around here.
Yep. Coach Niblet. I'm walking in, and I just know that since we care for each other so much and we love each other, I know someone's going to pick me up, and they got me. And as I said, I'm walking in, I'm a little down, but I see we put Luke back in there. Luke gets a hit, and I was like, oh, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
They're going to pick me back
wow.
up.
Yeah.
And we're good. Then we get a walk, another walk, or Asher's little hit in between the gaps, Brody's bunt. And, I know going back out there, like, yeah, they got me. They're going to pick me up, and it's just a love that we have for each other that that through adversity that love is going to help us out and get us a win.
Yeah, go.
I was just going to say on that fact a little bit. Coach Brown's changed me to where he puts us in I wouldn't necessarily say like high pressured situations in practice, but he puts us in situations where we need to execute, and if you don't execute, you're either going to touch the pole or you're going to get told how you're wrong, which y'all know him.
Yeah.
And so
I get it.
Me personally, I don't know how it's correlated into my brain and changed this year, but I went from last year having pressure and I'd be nervous, or I guess you could say like my heart would be racing in the moment, to this year it's like I said earlier, pressure is a privilege. And so when I get the chance to be in the pressured situations, like I'm pumped up and I'm excited that it's me and no one else.
Yeah.
So that's changed for me personally on the field.
You know, it's really interesting that both of you point to this idea of knowing somebody's going to pick you up, or or point to knowing I'm going to be the person that's going to pick people up, right? Like, I feel as though that kind of that hasn't been around, and it's this, you know, there was almost a, well, who's going to do it? I don't want to do it. Are you going to do it? Are you going to get the hit? Well, who's going to do it? I don't want to be the one at bat. Do you want? I don't want to be the one at bat. And so there was this sort of this doldrum. You know, we'd go down a run heading into the bottom of the seventh. You know, there was just, instead y'all go in now and it's we got this. I'm going to get a walk. I'm going to get a hit.
I gotta say, even from our standpoint, like, obviously didn't want to have to play the bottom of the seventh inning, but I wasn't worried about it.
No, neither was I.
You know, I really wasn't. I was like, yeah, we got this.
Our mindset has changed from here we go again.
Yep.
We're going to lose a close game, to here we go again. Cohen's going to get another walk-off hit. You know, that's sort of how things have changed. And again, it was Dawson last night. So look, seniors, a huge part of a program's culture being revamped. Seniors have to be the ones to relay the messages, right? To do the Cliff Notes version for their teammates. How have you taken on that challenge this year?
We have a very goofy group, so it took a while for me to understand how I could like let them know that like I'm being serious and for me to get my message through. But
Yeah.
I bet it's hard for you to let a lot of people know that you're being serious.
I don't like being the one to be the bad cop, but when I need to be, I am. You can ask the guys. They don't like it, but it's just someone on the team has to step up and do that. Like Silas, he does it, but he does it in like a more mannered way. But I just
Cohen says it how it is, and you're gonna let it. You're gonna hear it sometimes.
Truth hurts.
It does. As you mentioned, high truth, high love. So guys, and you know, we can talk about X's and O's all day, but people can also read a stat sheet and see it for themselves. We want to relay the experience of what you're going through. How freaking cool is it to be a Gainesville baseball player right now?
It's amazing. I love being a Gainesville baseball player. I enjoy coming to practice each day. And like past couple of years, you kind of dreaded practice.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to go. I mean, you're there for those hours and just doesn't feel like being there. But like this year, there's something different about it. Like it's so fun being at practice, just seeing everyone. Like it's a great time.
Yeah.
Even if we're doing something hard, like at practice, you just love it.
I think Silas is mainly loving it right now because he gets to hit.
So listen, that's hilarious. So I can't remember what. I guess it was in the bottom of the sixth last night. You were in the batter's box, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get to see a Silas Ingram at bat." I think Silas Ingram, folks out there listening, has had 3 at bats your whole career.
Yeah,
something like that. About 3 at bats.
The fear.
Cohen, talk to us about y'all win the region championship. You get back to Ivy Watson. And you get to see what a Gainesville celebration looks like. You get to feel it. You know, we had the lights going for you guys. We had the Jumbotron popping. And some of the coolest pictures to me are you guys sitting up on the wall. You know, it takes me back to the days when we were winning state titles. And you know, and I've wanted so badly for y'all to feel that. And so it's really cool as somebody on the outside who loves you guys and loves this program and this school, to see you experience it. But I want to know what it was like to get there and your family's there and y'all, you know, you won a first region championship in a decade.
You know, I was texting my mom and dad, and I was like, all I was worried about after the game was like, where are we going to eat? And they were like, well, we got to go pick up the car, just making excuses. And then we get off the bus, and to see everyone there that supports us, and we were all just shocked, honestly. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know whether to go see all them, run on the field, or go jump in the lake. And so Coach Brown, he told us, he said go on the field, he said we'll have to save the lake for when we win state.
Absolutely
I
right.
was ready for the lake. I
No.
look over.
Not yet.
No, sir, not yet. Y'all got a couple more weeks before that.
I look over and I see Cohen's shoes are off, and he's on the field with no shoes on. He was ready.
That's
Cohen
awesome.
probably took his shoes off on the bus ride. I could see Cohen sitting in the back of the bus picking his toenails all the ride home. So, as you know, since y'all officially won the region title, we can talk about the playoffs now. Chamblee, Decatur, not really sure which one's going to be. But my question is, all the GHSA baseball playoffs start off with a doubleheader. First round is always a doubleheader. How does your mentality as a player change, or is it different going into a doubleheader for the playoffs?
Coach Brown talks about it at practice all the time, and he's said it since day one. To win a state championship, it takes 8 hours, and so that's your doubleheader. That's the time you're going to have for that. And he went into it last night. He said after when we got all in the meeting, he was like, "All right, there's 3 hours down. What are you going to do with another 3 hours in 2 weeks or next weekend?" And so it's kind of like just a mentality that you have to change, and you got to know. I mean, especially with all our players, we have to start drinking more water, and we got to take care of our bodies coming into this, because 8 hours and 3 hours, it's a big difference for us.
Silas?
We had some practices where they would last a very long time, and he said this is exactly how it's going to feel when you're in one of those playoff series double headers, and he prepared us for that playoff series with those long practices. Now, those practices definitely did suck at times, but they definitely will get us ready for those playoff series.
Y'all officially got set up on that question. We just asked that same question to Coach Brown, and he said that's exactly what y'all would say. So great job on that one.
Hey, listen, when the messages match, you know that you got a special thing going. All right, guys, as we wrap up with you, first of all, just so proud of
Yes.
you. My gosh, so proud of you. But also, y'all are so much fun to watch. So keep being that. And hear me when I say it ain't about the wins, it's about how you play. I love nothing more than to watch Cohen running after a foul ball that he knows he's not going to catch. But, just busting it after it. Watching it's those little things. And it's always the connectivity, too, and you can really see it with the team. So as we wrap up here, let's talk future plans. Cohen, what you got going, what you want to do? Both of you are seniors. What we got coming up?
Right now, I'm talking to a couple different colleges, and I've been talking to Coach Brown and my dad. I don't want to go somewhere where I'm going to end up close to $100,000 in student debt.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find that little happy medium and end up somewhere that I'd like. I possibly would want to end up at Georgia Highlands if that's an opportunity for me. And so we're talking through that right now. But if that doesn't work out, then I'm going to end up going and I'm going to work somewhere.
That's awesome. What do you want to do, though? Like, what do you want to work? What's your passion?
Anything that really does with construction.
Awesome.
Right now I'm working at Stewart Pro and HVAC, so I could see me working there in the future, but it's all dependent on college.
That's fantastic. Silas?
I'm attending Augusta University, and I'm going to major in physical therapy.
Awesome.
And after I graduate from there, I want to come back to Gainesville and give back to the community and hopefully help with our athletes here.
Both of your parents are teachers at Gainesville High School. Why haven't you given them a shout-out yet? That's pretty selfish.
Thank you, Mom.
Anything?
He hears enough.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
He
We
hears it enough.
actually just came from my mom's class. We go and sit in there during third period.
Oh, yeah,
and
I've heard.
Have a great time with her.
Y'all don't just sit in there during third period. Don't lie, Silas. It's not just during third period.
Sitting there for a good couple 4 periods.
Yeah, guys, keep having fun. It's rubbing off on the rest of us. And thank you again for all the hard work you've put in to once again resurrect one of Gainesville's great programs. We appreciate you. We love you. We can't wait to watch you play on Thursday as you wrap up the regular season, and then heck yeah, going to the playoffs, hosting a playoff series. That's going to be fun too. Folks, get out to Ivy Watson. Come watch these boys play. They deserve your support. We appreciate you.